do you pick a perfect female and male for the litter? Like, for example, this. Like, how do you compare
I like starting with the female. I know that some people like starting with the males. Again, I think for a person coming into it, it's harder to push your stud and to, get that right stud. If you're going to buy a stud to just start the business with a stud, you're probably going to want to start with an already grown male. Because if you're starting the game with a puppy and that puppy grows into something that you don't like, it could screw you up long term as to whether you're going to go forward or not. So for me as a beginner, I think starting with the female is the way to go. Because whatever faults she may have as she develops, you can pick a stud to opposite that. So if you have a female that's too long, you pick a boy that's shorter. If you have a female that's too tall, you get a boy that's shorter. Or vice versa. If you think she's too small, you can get a bigger boy. So my thing is picking the female, seeing what she turns into, and then finding a boy that'll complement her pluses and her minuses. If you like her skull, you want to keep that, you pick a boy with a nice skull to go with it, bigger skull, go from there. If you like her chest, you make sure if she's nice and broad chested, you want to pick a boy that's going to enhance that further. If she's too narrow on the end, then you pick a boy with a wider butt. So I think having the female to create your next line is important to start with, because you can always correct the next generation by picking the right stud and going from there. Whereas if you get a stud and he's not correct to begin with, now you're going to either have to get a female to restart or another male to restart. I think having a female to start with is the best way to go. And then always be honest with yourself. No dog is perfect, You got to be honest with yourself and say, my girl's too short, my girl's too long. I need to get a boy that's going to fix that problem.
So how many breedings did you drop? 2 so far?
I've dropped 3 so far. And I centralized on the big ropes with that. King Cuddles, well, this was the first one. King Cuddles was the second. And then I had another litter that pretty much all sold out. They were big ropes, short-haired. I do prefer the big ropes. I know some people don't. But I find that the big ropes temperament is different than a regular Frenchie. They tend to be more mellow. They tend to be more, I don't know, like they don't want to cause fights and stuff with each other as much. Whereas, like my girls that are not big ropes seem to want to fight everybody. Well, my big rope boys, they just don't care. They just like whatever, as long as we're being loved, that's all that matters.